What's up, guys? This is Team Gentrix. Scully here with the Prophecy deck profile, and we'll get right into it. First monster is Spellbook Magician Prophecy. I really like this card because you can search for Judgment with it, and it's not a spell cost, so very good. Double Priestess. I don't like 3 because I just don't find it necessary. Because I don't like to draw into her. I'd prefer to get her off with Judgment. So Triple Priestess is not needed in my opinion. Double Justice. I really like this card with Judgment because you still get her effect during end phase, and adding another Judgment and a Priestess is pretty cool to do. So, yeah. Double Veiler. I wanted this deck to be synchro capable. I prefer it to the Exceed builds. I just prefer synchros in general, so Double Veiler. Yeah, very good card. Then we got Kaiku. It's good against E-Drags and Spellbooks, the matchup. So, really like this card. Also, it is a nice level 4 to synchro with. So, yeah. Tsukiyomi. I like this card because Dragossack and just to get pluses with your Magician Prophecy. So, Tsukiyomi is really good, I think, in this build. Jaugen. It's like a mini Ophion, so I mean, that's get out all you need to with Judgment, and then sit on a Jaugen and double Priestess or something. You're gonna pretty much guarantee yourself game, because if your opponent doesn't have a response to that, then you're gonna be able to sit on that with a double Priestess and pop anything they have. So, and then I do main one Droll Mockbird, just because E-Drags and Spellbooks are so popular nowadays that I just feel you kind of need to main one. Alright, and that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, we've got 3 secrets. I just think this is the best spellbook card by far. It's just, I mean, being able to search any spellbook card and go from there, that's just really, really awesome to me. So, triple secrets. Then we got the new Spellbook of Judgment double. I like this at 2. 3, the only reason why I would play 3 is so I can draw into it first turn more often, but I think 2 is just fine. Then we've got Triple Fate. This card is just really broken. It's basically your main trap of the deck. Just also you can get pluses by banishing, so you can use Eternity to get other things that you need. So really like Fate. Then we got Double Master, just for thinning or recycling things such as power or secrets, so on. Double Tower. It's not as good as it used to be, but drawing 2 every turn, I mean, hey, that's pretty awesome. Then we got Double Wisdom. You don't need to play this card at 3 like you used to in the old build. 2 is just fine, so because that's just not the play style that you play with this deck anymore. It's kind of a lot more fast-paced, so it's not necessary for Triple Wisdom. And then we got Spellbook Star Hall. This card is incredible with some of the synchro monsters you have, and just being able to get over monsters like Ophion easily is really cool. So, beefing up all your little guys to get over things like Thunder King, such as that, it makes that card very good. And then we got Eternity, like I said before, just to recycle stuff and go from there. One Spellbook of Life. You usually use this for Veiler, because if you have 7 cards in your hand at the end phase, I usually pitch the Veiler and then synchro with it with Life. So, 1 Spellbook of Power. You don't need to, or like you used to. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's not the way you play anymore, so the 1 is just fine. And one of my new favorite spells for this deck is One Day of Peace. If you open up with this and Judgment and some other spells, you can pretty much guarantee yourself that you are going to beat your opponent, because you cannot get OTK'd and you have time to set up stuff. So, very, very good card in this build. And then we play Triple Upstart. It's just to get out those not so good first turn hands or for Spellbook Judgment. So 1,000 life points means nothing to you with how fast this deck is and how much popping power you have. You're going to be attacking directly most of the time anyways, so 1,000 life points means nothing. And then for the final spell, I play Monster Reborn. I don't like Dark Hole and Heavy Storm in this build. I don't like Dark Hole just because it's just... You want to keep most of your stuff on the field, and generally you're going to have a Priestess on field. So you don't really want to get rid of that, and with Dragossack being so popular, it's just not as good of a card anymore. So that is it for the spells. We run 4 traps, double bottomless just to get rid of those big monsters, and then we got Solemn Duo. Judgment is incredible. I think I've really fallen in love with this card because it's just, it stops such big plays and you know, whatever. So Judgment is very good. And now we'll move on to the extra deck. We've got some rank 2s for Spellbook Magician. We got Gachi, Daigusto, Shining Elf. It's not too common that you go into these guys because getting out to Spellbook Magician is just not, it just doesn't happen all that often, but they're just kind of there for when you need them. So, yeah. And like I said before, I don't really like the Exceed build, but I do run the one High Event Prophecy. I guess if I had Big Eye and Dragossack, I would run them, but I wouldn't see myself going into the Exceeds that much anyways, because I prefer to have double Priestess on field. So, but this is just there to heavy your opponent if they've got like a reasonably sized back row. So that is it for the Exceed monsters. We've got Armory Arm, Cataster, and TG Hyper Librarian. Pretty basic cards. I really like Armory Arm because that and Priestess and Spellbook Power, I mean, wow, you're gonna be you got a lot of attack under your belt there, so really like these cards there, and they're good. They're easy to get out. The rank 5s are easy to get out with your Tsukiyomi or Kaiku and such, so good cards for this deck. Then we've got Tempest, which is great with Star Hall. You can just, this is a late game card, so you can just spam 500 to your opponent to go for game. Very good card. And just to like her, we've got Arcanine Magician. It's basically Black Rose. I mean, really. So, I mean, that, except you don't have to destroy yourself, so very good card. And then we've got Gungnir. Just some extra popping power. You can go into it with Magician or Spellbook Magician, so I don't know, it's just in there because it's just a great card, and whatever, you go into it. Black Rose, just wipe the field. Stardust and Scrap Dragon. They're just all great cards for pretty much any deck that can Synchro. I really like Stardust in this build because you can Veiler to a Priestess, and then you can't get Dark Hold or something silly like that next turn, so good card. And then we've got Crimson Blader for the E-Dragon matchup. It's just really good against them. So that is it for the Spellbook deck. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back later. Out.